Alberta Primetime with Michael Higgins.
Welcome to Alberta Primetime. Ahead tonight, our Friday panel on the U.S. tourism industry pleading for the return of Canadian travel dollars. But first, ready for round two. Corb Lund has submitted another petition application, the Alberta musician, calling for legislation to ban new coal mining on the eastern slopes of the Rockies. His first application was approved by Elections Alberta in December, but subsequently cancelled when the government approved Bill 14, bringing changes to the citizen initiative process. And Corb Lund joins us now. Mr. Lund, good to see you, sir. Appreciate the opportunity to chat about this evening.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. It doesn't look like the Bill 14 amendments are holding you back. What's keeping you undeterred, motivated to make this petition happen?
Yeah, I've been involved in this fight against coal mines in the Rockies for 6 years now. So, I mean, a few extra weeks because of the application is no big deal. We're happy to jump through whatever hoops we have to get the mining stopped.
So how did the amendments in Bill 14 land with you then when the government passed them in the fall?
Like emotionally or logistically? What do you mean?
Either way, what struck you first?
It was just another pain in the butt from the government. But like I said, we rolled our eyes and reapplied and used the time to build an even better team of IT people and canvassers and organizers and lawyers, so we have a pretty good team ready to go now. As far as logistics, it basically just pushed us back a month or so, something like that.
Okay, so
I don't think we just kind of got caught up in the changes. I don't think it was. I don't know what the reason was for it. The premier had been saying that she was anticipating the results of the petition, that the rules are out there to be followed, and then we applied and she changed the rules. So, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Water under the bridge. We're going forward. So,
was there a point at which you thought you would have to pay the heightened application fee, a fee that went from $500 to $25,000?
Yeah, no, that was pretty clear from the beginning that we were not subject to that. So, that wasn't a factor for us. You know, the thing is, we've been fighting these coal mines for 5 or 6 years now, and I have, some people longer than that. But this Grassy Mountain mine keeps coming up over and over and over. And it was turned down in 2021 by the federal government and the provincial government, and the coal companies appealed it 3 times in court, and the appeals were thrown out. And polling in the province time after time has shown that 70% of people don't want it. And still, the government has let them reapply, even after they said it was it was a dead project. It was rejected on all fronts. And then Minister Brian Jean apparently reached out to the AER, the regulatory body, and told them to consider it an advanced project. So somebody in the government really, really, really wants this mine to go through, and the public really, really, really doesn't. So that's where we're at. And the wording of our petition is specifically worded to include Grassy Mountain. And you're in Edmonton. There's a similar mine in the Bighorns called Blackstone, which Edmontonians should be concerned about, because that's that mining project is in about the same spot as Grassy is. It's in the approval process, and that one is at the headwaters of the North Saskatchewan River, which feeds you guys. So
now, anticipating you'll again get a green light, what is the message you'll take to Albertans to get them to sign the petition? Well,
you know, there's 2 things about it. One is there's a lot of really compelling reasons not to have irresponsible coal mining at the headwaters of our water supply. That should be pretty obvious to most people. And I've mentioned over and over and over that I have no political partisan dog in this fight. I don't like any of the parties. This has nothing to do with parties. And also, I mentioned that this is a really wide coalition of Albertans that don't want this. The people that brought me into this were not leftists. They were generational ranchers west of Nanton whose water was going to be ruined and who some of their land was going to be ruined by coal mines. So we've slowed them down, but they're still coming. They're just grinding away. And, you know, this Grassy Mountain mine is at the headwaters of the Old Man River, which feeds 200,000 people downstream and feeds a food processing industry in Lethbridge, and, you know, includes areas of the Old Man which are pristine fly fishing areas. And it's just, you know, when I was asked to come into this thing, I didn't really know much about it, and I didn't have a dog in the fight. So I spent about 6 weeks meeting with people and reading as much as I could find on the issue from all sides, and it just doesn't add up. The environmental impacts don't add up, and the the economic impacts don't add up. We keep hearing over and over about these jobs, and I understand, we all understand about jobs, but the word jobs is not a magic wand that you wave that mitigates all the effects of the project. And we're talking about a few hundred jobs in the Crow's Nest Pass area, and it doesn't take into account anybody downstream, or it doesn't take into account the effect on agricultural jobs, tourism jobs, you know. And I always tell fiscal conservatives, as I said, I don't care about parties. And what I say to people who are probably UCP voters, it's okay to criticize your own team when they made a mistake. I don't care who you vote for. I'm not trying to change your vote. I'm just trying to tell you that if your team makes a mistake, you got to call them on it. And they made a really big mistake on this coal thing, and they keep pushing it. And to the fiscal conservatives out there, I say, I guarantee, I stake my reputation on this. 10, 20, 30 years from now, I guarantee that those coal mining companies will be gone, and the mess will be left to the taxpayer to clean up, and it'll be billions.
It goes without saying, you're a well-known Albertan. You've pointed out, you've long voiced opposition to coal mining activities. Has anyone from the government reached out to you to discuss your concerns?
Oh yeah, I've spoken to many, many ministers. Yeah, and frankly, I hate saying this because I don't like it, but I knew more about the issue than any of them. Like, they don't know what they're talking about. They just make stuff up. And you can tell from what they're saying. I know the issue so intimately. When they talk to me, I can tell that they've only been told about it from the coal mining industry. Like, they don't have any understanding of the effects this is going to have. And they keep saying that they can mitigate the contaminants, and they can't. Their own, and also the coal mining companies they're in full PR mode right now. Like, they are the shiny advertisements and all kinds of stuff over social media. And I would love to talk to one of those folks, you know, in a moderated public debate, because I just don't think they're telling the truth.
All right, one more question for you, Corb. Worried at all, and this is anticipating, you got a green light again, worried at all that Albertans might be getting petitioned out? You know, given all the attention now around efforts to seek a referendum on separation, MLA recall campaigns continuing?
I don't know. It's not my concern. Like, I'm just focused on the coal issue, and we've had an overwhelming, like, seriously overwhelming amount of support already, and we haven't even really started. So I'm pretty. I don't think that's a factor. I think people are the majority of Albertans care enough about the water and the mountains that they'll do the right thing. We also would like to say that if you'd like to help us, go to coalpetition.ca and sign up to be a canvasser. We need lots of canvassers. We've got a bunch already, but we need more.
All right. We'll have to leave it there for time. Appreciate your time this evening, Mr. Lynn. Thank you kindly, sir.
You bet. Thanks.
That's Alberta musician, rancher, and anti-coal petition proponent, Corb Lund. From Americans missing Canadian travel dollars to Corb Lund's anti-coal petition, the lure of ski joring, and matching styles with the Mayor of Edmonton. Our Primetime This Week panel is in. And joining us this evening, Danielle Parity, a freelance writer and associate professor of journalism at MacEwan University. And joining the panel for the first time, Tim Adams, the founder and director of Free Play for Kids and a former journalist. Tim, welcome aboard. Good to have you with us.
Thank you. It'll be good to extra the journalism chops again. It's been a while.
Good stuff. Okay, and obviously great to see you both. So let's maybe kick things off. In a week that saw Canada and the U.S. in the thick of geopolitical tensions at the World Economic Forum, our neighbors to the south are pleading for the return of Canadian tourism dollars. Like many holiday destinations, Las Vegas is used to Canucks flocking to the desert through the cold winter months. But air traffic is down almost 10% year over year, and the biggest declines involve Canadian Airlines, the city's largest international market.
Canadian tourism on a monthly basis, it's been down anywhere from 25% to 50%.
And so to win travelers back come incentives, with some downtown hotels now accepting the struggling Canadian dollar at par.
If you don't stay here, no sweat. we have a bar in each one of our 3 hotels that we've designated as a Canadian bar. And then if you have $500 Canadian, we'll give you $500 American in a voucher to play slots at any one of our 3 casinos.
The push follows similar tourism moves in Washington, Montana, California, even at Disney World.
Losing even a fraction of that traffic means that we lose billions in tourist spending, and tens of thousands of jobs are at stake. That's significant, especially given the general malaise in the economy.
At the heart of the Canadian rebuke, political tension among those who have not recently traveled to the States. 34% cite their feelings about Donald Trump or the way America is treating Canada.
And you now understand why Canadians have stopped going to tourist destinations like Las Vegas. Every state can tell you how much their economy is losing.
WestJet has already reduced flights to the U.S. by 10% due to the lack of demand and anticipates further reductions this year. Danielle, with some of the things said by the U.S. president in Davos, Switzerland this week, not to mention the social media post with a doctored image of the American flag covering a map of Canada, are Canadians anywhere near pulling back on the boycott sentiments?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think, scarcely a week, never mind a month, goes by that would allow Canadians to forget these sorts of comments or, back to the 51st state conversation. And that really does make Canadians hesitant, in addition to the news that we're hearing out of Minnesota and Minneapolis and the killing of Renee Good. I mean, there's a lot of reasons that people are feeling very concerned about travel to the U.S.
Tim, how far do you see dollar-for-dollar deals going to lure Canadian travels back to a place like Las Vegas? Are financial dynamics likely to win out over feelings?
No. I mean, I think since Don Bailey's 100-meter win, Sid Crosby's golden goal, Joe Carter's home run, that we have a national pride like this since events like that. And that's all inspired by President Trump and his bully tactics to Canada and united a kind of behind Canada, make Canada, support Canada. There's factions here in Alberta that are going against that, but by and large, everywhere you go it's Canada first. And so $500 in a slot machine is not going to change that or mentality or that pride that's growing across the country. I would love, quite frankly, to see people pull down and use their tourism dollars this summer to support BC and a strong Western front, especially as we're asking, the BC coast to accept projects from Alberta to grow the Canadian economy. What time to use our tour dollars to serve our neighbors. So $5 in a slot machine definitely changing my behavior. So my feelings about what President Trump has said about this country and what that represents.
Danielle, do you think it would make a difference if those impacted American markets would make it less about the lost tourism dollars and maybe more about actually missing Canadians as friends and neighbors?
I mean, that is really sweet, and maybe. I think people would perhaps feel a bit better if there was a direct confrontation on the issue rather than pretending that it might be an issue of dollar parity, which, the Canadian dollar often performs well below the American dollar, at least 30%. So I think perhaps a standing up for Canadian sovereignty would be what you would want to see in order to feel comfortable, as well as assurances from governors that, you're not likely to get snatched by ICE on your way to the hotel.
All right. Next up, we heard from country singer and rancher Corb Lund off the top on again filing his coal mining petition after the first attempt, which was approved by Elections Alberta in December, but fell by the wayside thanks to changes in legislation. Tim, what's to be made of Corb Lund's determination to keep the eastern slopes of the Rockies free of future coal mining activities?
I mean, he's a true Albertan, right? Like defending wild out is a stance that I love and respect, and I connect to someone who's spent a lot of time in the crow's nest with a family cabin on the Rindale River, and spending my winter skiing at Castle Mountain, and spending summers in the ice cream shops in Blairmore, and I have a lot of respect for that region of the country and of Alberta. And then when we're talking about tourism, there's that's a place where we should investing tourism dollars and tourism. It's right beside the American border. It's right beside Fernie, where we can get a bump of ski business and outdoor business. And there's so many other ways we could make that area strong and support people that live there with their economy, other than mine. And so, of course, is leading the good fight, and he'll keep leading the good fight. But I think there are open ears now, especially coming off of Carney's speech and him putting us back on the international stage. People are looking at Canada. A lot of people being Canada as a place to visit, and a better time now than to put some dollars into the class pass and boost the economy in a different way.
Danielle, how do you see this petition fitting into the current dynamic of double-digit recall campaigns and now the hugely divisive separatist referendum push? What will it take to get Albertans to engage on this issue of coal?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we don't know if they are the same Albertans or not. I do appreciate that there probably is some petition fatigue, but this issue, it pre-exists a lot of the recall discussions, and Corbland has a massive fan base, and he's really been advocating for this for several years now, and so I think he has the attention of people when he chooses to speak out, and I think he's fairly likely to be successful. It's not him alone, obviously, but the people that he's working with seem like they know what they're doing.
Yeah, if he gets the green light, it'll be, 4 months and need about 178,000 signatures. Okay, time for us to take a bit of a break. But when we come back, a high-flying sport that's cultivating a culture all its own, and the mayor of Edmonton meets his mini-me. More from our Primetime This Week panel in a moment. Welcome back. There is a high-flying sport taking Alberta by storm, and it's one you may never have heard of. Welcome to the world of ski joring, a combination of snow, speed, skis, and steeds. And thousands packed the streets of Banff last weekend to partake in the festivities.
This is pretty cool. There's no reason to wear this getup unless you're here. Like, this is awesome.
Everybody on the vibes, cowboy boots, cowboys, horses, cowgirls. That's it. It's perfect.
Blend of Western and ski culture, ski joring draws out a retro chic style all its own and brings a needed boost to the local economy.
We put on events in winter to give people a reason to come out to the mountains at this time of year.
Helps bring the people in and keep us busy when, not everyone's here.
Ski joring events also planned for Calgary, February 21st and 22nd, and Red Deer the weekend after that. Danielle, what do you make of ski joring's sporting appeal, if not the unique style we saw there that comes with it?
Yeah, I mean, I love the fashion, but it really is a sport that's fun to watch. It's something I'm still relatively new to, but you can see the appeal right away. It has everything we love: mountains, horses, Western wear. Yeah, very Albertan in its feel. So Tim, this was part of Banff's annual Snow Days Festival. It turned out it was so popular, it pushed beyond the community's capacity, even raised concerns over unruly behavior. What do you think will be key to maybe reining in the rowdiness in future years?
That's where we should be putting our tourism dollars. That's where we want the discounts to encourage more ski joring. I've only tried ski joring behind the back of my golden retriever. It's a big sport with dogs across the snowy countries, but seeing it behind the horses and the culture, that's exactly what Alberta is meant to be. I'm sure Corb would approve of that one.
Yeah, that has a good fit with Corbland as well. Yeah, I can see him maybe partaking in that and doing a bit of a show. Okay, for us, one more topic, and it's a lighter look at the political landscape. So, meet Mayor Bradley, a grade 6 student visiting Edmonton City Hall this week and bringing the vibes and style of the real mayor, including a pair of blue glasses purchased just for the occasion.
I just thought it would be kind of funny to look like Andrew Knack and wear the suit. I just got it because we were doing a mock council, and I'm the mayor for it, so I wanted to look like Andrew Knack.
A delight to meet the mini-me, although he should have shaved his head. That's the only other advice I'd offer him, but otherwise, perfect.
Brady says he took that advice into consideration, but determined it might take a little bit too long to grow his hair back. Tim, wouldn't it be something if young Mayor Brady, one day actually runs for mayor. What do you make of this youthful engagement in municipal politics?
I love it. And as someone that runs an organization that supports 5,000 kids a year, there's so much talent out there, so much ambition, so many good kids, and often we put this brush on them of they're just stuck behind the video screen playing video games. But like, look at this perfect example. And I covered City Hall for a long time as a journalist, and it's such a great place to learn about engagement and politics. It's such an open style of government where you can get in, and City Hall School has done such a great job of making politics accessible to kids. So I just love this example, and Mayor Knack nailed it with just if he would have shaved his head, he would have fit right in perfect.
Speaking of shaved heads, right? Danielle, whether it's in Edmonton or anywhere else, to Tim's point, what might this say about the value of something like City Hall School?
Yeah, there's absolutely a high value in teaching civics to young people. Even when they get to journalism school, I'm sometimes a little dismayed to discover that there's still some lessons to learn on the separation of powers and who's responsible for what. If you're mad about healthcare, if you're mad about snow clearing, who do you talk to? So I think the earlier we can get people started, the better, the more memorable. I'm sure that little Mayor Brady will remember his time at City Hall School. And I hope to see more programs like that across the country.
All right. We've left ourselves with enough time for a round of winners and losers. So Danielle, we'll go to you first. Who or what maybe tops your lists this week?
Yeah. So for winners, so photographer Amber Bracken is taking the RCMP to court in Vancouver for a 5-week trial, and I've been listening in on the testimony currently. Karen Felize with APTN is talking about the importance of press freedom and the importance of having the ability for us to be there and witness. So I want people to know about that. On the loser side, there's a new report that shows that killers of Indigenous women disproportionately get manslaughter and lighter sentences than if you killed non-Indigenous women. So there's some work to do on the justice front still. Indeed.
Okay. Tim, your turn. Take it home.
I have to say the big winner of the week is Prime Minister Carney and putting Canada back on the international stage. I grew up in an era where I was so proud of Canada's reputation to be a diplomat and to be a peacekeeper. And I think his speech really put us back into that front and driver's seat of being this bridge between cultures, bridge between countries, making sure Canada's seen as a peacekeeper in a place that you can invest and really feel proud of. So I would have to give my hat off as a winner to Prime Minister Mark Carney and his speech of the week. Losers, I'd have to say, ingest us with the weather, just not getting any breaks between the snow and then the melt and then the freezing and -30 and the challenges that causes for our city crews who are working really hard, and all the challenges that they've gone through and all the challenges that people have gone through getting out of their houses and down the street. So it's just been a hard weather run. So that would be my loser of the week, would be the weather and us.
A hard weather run indeed, and hopefully these cool conditions right now will abate quickly. All right, we're out of time. We have to leave it there. Great to see you both. Thank you kindly for this, and hope you have an awesome weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, here are a few responses to a recent story posted by CTV News about the Prime Minister outlining his vision for Canada in an address to Canadians while rejecting U.S. President Donald Trump's claims to our country's livelihood. Rush says Canada is moving past elbows up and approaching the drop the gloves stage. 007 writes, if you are pushed to a wall by a bully, the only option is to resist. Knock thinks Carney was elected to get a deal with Trump. Where's the deal? Max says the USA doesn't want a trade deal. They want a surrender. Mark Carney is laying out a strategic and viable route forward. And Scott writes, I'm not a liberal, but I'm very proud of my country. Have your say. Email us anytime at comments@albertaprimetime.com. That is our program for tonight. Have a great evening and a great weekend, everyone, from all of us at Alberta Primetime. Thank you for watching, and join us again next time.